It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
The question right now in DC is not if there will be a government shutdown, but how long a government shutdown is going to be. Both Republicans and Democrats are pretty dug in their positions right now, and there has been a lot of finger pointing today between the White House and Congress.
We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
Trump admitted himself that he is using Americans as political pawns. He is admitting that he is doing the firing of people if, God forbid, it happens.
We're getting a better idea about what the economic impact is of a shutdown. So the Congressional Budget Office is now estimating that 750,000 federal employees are going to be furloughed. And remember, Trump did promise that some of them would be laid off. The CBO also came out with a letter saying that there will be an impact on the private sector, and some industries that usually have the government purchase goods and services might never recover the funds if the government shutdown goes on for more than 2 weeks.
Mr. President, allow me to reintroduce myself.
The question.
Mr. President, I'll introduce myself. Allow me to reintroduce myself. Democratic leader. I'm the House Democratic leader.
The question right now in DC is not if there will be a government shutdown, but how long a government shutdown is going to be. Both Republicans and Democrats are pretty dug in their positions right now, and there has been a lot of finger pointing today between the White House and Congress.
We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
Trump admitted himself that he is using Americans as political pawns. He is admitting that he is doing the firing of people if, God forbid, it happens.
We're getting a better idea about what the economic impact is of a shutdown. So the Congressional Budget Office is now estimating that 750.
Back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Mr. President, allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm the House Democratic leader. Our caucus is 217 members strong. We serve in a separate and co-equal branch of government. We don't work for you. We work for the American people. And Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Well, I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that Trump would say it to his face. I just think he'll be like, oh, it was just a joke. It wasn't serious. It wasn't serious, you know. But I wouldn't say that to a president, though. I wouldn't say it to my face, because, you know, bro got Secret Service. What do you have, Hakeem? What do you have, Hakeem? Not a damn thing.
We have disagreements about tax policy, but you don't shut that government down. We have disagreements about health care policy, but you don't shut the government down. You don't use your policy disagreements as leverage to not pay our troops, to not have essential services of government actually function. You don't say the fact that you disagree about a particular tax provision is an excuse for shutting down the people's government and all the essential services that come along with it.
So I'm easily confused, as everybody knows.
Well, no, it's.
But I'm confused. I mean, he was the guy who said that Donald Trump might be America's Hitler, and then he changed. He's the guy that said God expects more from us than to vote for Donald Trump. JD did. And then he changed And Mika, didn't he say, like, not so long ago that this is exactly when you use your leverage to try to get the other party to change?
Yeah, man. Why shouldn't we be trying to force this government shutdown fight to get something out of it that's good for the American people? Like, why have a government if it's not a functioning government?
What a shock. What a shock.
A year ago.
That's just it.
Right.
Oh, I thought that might be a decade ago, 30 years ago.
That was like a young
J.D.
Vance. Oh, wait, he is pretty young.
You know, you never know what's going to happen here. You really don't. Donald Trump can decide what he wants to decide. I will say, actually, going through a government shutdown, you know, everybody on the floor would all gather. Well, you know, people will understand that Bill Clinton did, and would sit there. And finally, like, it occurred to me, I go, dude, nobody's paying attention to this. When the government shut down, they're going to blame Republicans. They always blame. And sure enough, the government was shut down. Bill Clinton broke us politically, got reelected. It worked in his favor. When there was a shutdown, I guess, 2011? Same thing happened. They didn't blame Barack Obama, even though Republicans were like, I'm going to blame Barack Obama. They never did. They don't do that. People, like, working, like, in middle America aren't going, well, you know, they passed a clean CR. It's clean. So that's the problem is Republicans own the White House. Mm-hmm. Republicans own the Senate. Mm. Republicans own the House.
They have a lot of power.
Republicans own the Supreme Court. People in middle America, when they see a government shutdown, they go, wait a sec, we put Republicans in charge of everything, and they can't even run a government. This is not wish casting. This is like 30 years of experience. Republicans always get blamed for government shutdowns, especially when you have the monopoly of power in Washington, D.C. Yeah.
Boy, when y'all hear it, y'all think he be lying, but he telling the truth. Okay? Should I say it in my Laura Loomer? Bitch, we up in here, okay? Look at that ass. That's what she tell. We up in this thing. Republican till I die. We gonna shut this government down, okay? Listen, man. Republicans are gonna get the blame for this. Look, when you have all the cards stacked in your hand and you still fall, look, man, listen. You ever play spades with somebody that got a good ass hand and they really don't know how to play, and they play some dumb shit instead of starting to lead with their spades, like somebody already cut and they like, all right, lead with a spade so you can take everybody's spades and control the game, but then you got a dummy that don't play. That's the Republicans. Republicans got a full, like, they got 13 books between the two, and one partner over there like, nigga, we got this, and the other partner over there, and the opponents, the Democrats, over here like, shit, I can go board looking ass. Board meaning we can only get 4 books, but possibly we can't get 4 books, but that's the lowest we can be at. It's 4 books. Come on, white people, stay with me. Y'all gotta either go to prison or go to a cookout and learn this game, okay? But what I'm saying is Republicans have the leverage right now, and they're not using it correctly. What they should be doing is trying to work with the Democrats to pass whatever and not give health care to illegals. Because it's not true. If you say it enough, it becomes true. But then when you find out that it's not true, then you're sitting here with a government shutdown because you told everybody that it was over health care for illegal immigrants.